Karen, have you seen my new shoes? You know, the gold ones that go great with my new dress? With the diamond things on them? I can't find them. They were in my room, in their box, so I don't know where they could have got to.
You mean the ones you got the other day when we went shopping and they were like half price?
Yeah, those ones.
Oh, I took them.
Huh? What do you mean you took them?
Exactly what I said. I took the shoes for myself.
Why?
Well, because I wanted them.
You knew that I bought those shoes for tonight. I told you how this was a really important night for me. I'm attending a super important dinner at my college with some very esteemed members of very exclusive companies, and I need to look my best. This could literally be my future on the line, and I want to make a good impression. You need to give me back my shoes right now. I mean, why did you even take them? You're not going anywhere to wear them. You didn't even ask me if you could borrow them either.
You knew that I liked these shoes. That's why I took them.
What?
Yeah, when we were shopping, I saw these shoes and I thought that they looked nice. But then you went and bought them and they were the last pair, so I decided that I was going to take them because you took them from me first.
You never liked those shoes. When you saw them, you said they looked incredibly gaudy and that you'd not be caught dead wearing them. You only want them now because I like them and bought them for myself. It's so typical of you. You always get jealous over whatever I have and you take it for yourself. Well, I'm not going to let you get away with it this time. I need those shoes to go with my outfit, so you're going to give them back or I'm going to come and get them.
I'm not giving them back. You stole them from me first. I might have said that I didn't like them at first, but that was before I got to have a proper look at them. You went and bought them before I could fully make up my mind. So, if anything, you're the selfish one for just taking the shoes that I wanted in the first place.
I'm not arguing with you anymore about this, Karen. You have 3 seconds to give me my shoes or I'm coming into your room and grabbing them myself. 1,
You're not going to scare me. I'm not giving them back.
2,
You're acting like such a spoiled brat. It's pathetic.
3.
Don't you dare come in here. I swear I'll tell Mom.
I don't care. I'm coming to get my shoes.
Alicia, how dare you steal your sister's things? I did not raise you to be like that.
Mom, I didn't steal anything. Karen was the one who stole my shoes, which she knew I had bought for my important evening tonight, and she wouldn't give them back. I needed them to go with my outfit. You do remember just how important this night actually is for me, don't you?
Hang on. Is tonight the night of that dinner with all of those investors and company owners?
Yes.
Oh, well, that doesn't mean that you can't share your things, though. You could have worn a different pair of shoes if push came to shove. You didn't need to barge into your sister's room just for a single pair of shoes.
Ugh, I can never win with you. You always take her side. It might not matter to you, but I am sick and tired of Karen taking my things whenever she wants, without asking me, even when she knows that I need them. And you never tell her to stop doing it either. If you're not going to tell Karen to stop, then I'll just have to take back everything she stole myself.
There's no need to be so dramatic. Look, next time, maybe just ask nicely. I'm sure Karen would give you your things back. She's just going through a rough patch at the moment, so we need to be a bit more understanding for her.
Mom, making excuses for her isn't going to help her. Her so-called rough patch is entirely her fault. If she had actually turned up to her job and done it properly, then maybe she wouldn't have been fired. As far as I'm concerned, she hasn't bothered to look for a new one in the last 6 months, so her situation is entirely up to her. And it doesn't give her the right to take my things simply because she can't afford her own.
Now, you're just being selfish. Your big sister needs your help, and you're just going to ignore her?
When she starts actually taking responsibility for herself, then I'll show some sympathy and help her out. Until then, she's going to have to deal with things on her own. Anyway, I need to go now if I'm going to make it to the dinner on time. I'll be back later.
So, I take it your dinner went well the other week?
Huh? Oh, yeah, it went amazingly. I met so many people and made so many contacts. I might even be in line for some major funding for my work. Isn't that incredible?
Uh-huh, sure. I'm also guessing you've had an increase in money as well? How'd you manage that? Conned some old rich CEO into being your sugar daddy?
What on earth are you on about?
Well, I just noticed that you seem to have a new car, and it's an incredibly fancy and expensive one at that. There's no way you could afford to buy that on your normal wage. So I'm guessing you've conned some old CEO into buying it for you. I have to admit, that's pretty smart. Shame I didn't think of it first.
Oh, you mean the Porsche in the garage?
Yeah, obviously. There aren't any other fancy cars around, are there?
It's not mine.
Yeah, I'm not stupid. I know it's yours. There's no way Mom or Dad could afford something like that.
No, honestly, it's not mine.
You're a rubbish liar. Anyway, I'm going to take it out for a while. I'm only telling you this because you'll just get Mom to yell at me again if I don't ask your permission to borrow it first.
Karen, first of all, you're not insured to drive that car, so you can't take it anywhere. Secondly, it's not even my car, so there's no way that I'm letting you drive it even an inch off of the drive.
I know you're just trying to lie to me so that I don't borrow the car, but it's not going to work, Alicia.
I swear, Karen, if you touch that car, you'll regret it.
Yeah, whatever.
Karen, where are you? I told you not to take the Porsche anywhere. I can't believe you came into my room and stole the keys for it. Answer me, Karen.
What do you want?
Bring that car back right now.
Why? Worried that everyone will think I look way cooler in it than you do? Don't worry, they already thought that.
I told you that it's not my car, it's my friend's.
Nice try, but I don't believe you.
Okay, fine, but don't say I didn't warn you.
Warn me about what?
No, you didn't want to know when I tried to tell you, so I'm not going to bother now. Have fun driving around looking cool, whilst you can.
You're just trying to scare me. Well, it's not going to work.
Sure.
Whatever. Now leave me alone. I'm driving, don't you know? Oh, and I might have scratched the car a little bit, but you don't mind, right? It's not like you can't afford to get it repainted or whatever.
Of course. You have fun. Don't worry about damaging the car or anything. I'm sure everything will work out just fine.
If you think being calm and uncaring is going to get me to bring the car back, you're wrong, you know?
Oh, I know. You nor the car will be my problem for very much longer, though.
What do you mean?
Oh, you'll find out soon enough.
Huh? Alicia? I can't believe you didn't tell me who owned the car. Do you know how much trouble I'm in? This is all your fault.
Oh, hi, Karen. I take it you found out who actually owns the car that you were driving around the other day? I did try to warn you, but you simply didn't want to listen. I guess now you've got to face the consequences.
But you didn't tell me that the owner of the car was Melanie Hampstead, the owner of one of the most successful and influential beauty companies in the world. How do you even know her? Why do you have her car?
Melanie was my friend from college. She graduated a few years ago before I did. But all throughout college, she was developing her company until it grew to the point that it is now. She actually gave me a job after that dinner. Anyway, she told me that she had to go out of town for a couple of weeks and asked me to collect her car, which was being worked on at the garage, and keep it safe until she got back.
You could have told me all this before I took it out. Now I'm in a huge amount of trouble.
I tried, but you just said that I was lying, just so that I didn't have to share my car with you.
Yeah, well, now she's suing me for stealing her car, and she's even threatened to get the police involved because I've banked it up a little bit.
Well, that's your fault.
I thought the car was yours. I was trying to teach you a lesson.
By purposefully wrecking the car that you thought was mine? How selfish and petty can you get?
Look, you're going to have to talk to Melanie and just explain the whole situation to her, okay? I can't afford to pay what she wants, so just tell her that you said that I could drive it. That way, it'll be on you, and I won't have to be taken to court. You know, I just can't afford this right now.
LOL, that's not happening. How do you think she found out about you driving it to begin with?
You mean you told her?
Yep. I knew that you'd probably damage the car just to be spiteful to me, so I told Melanie all about what was happening. Thankfully, she remembered you from when you'd come and visit me at college, so she knew exactly what kind of person you are. She told me that she sorted it all out and not to worry about the car. Now I know what she had in mind, and I have to say it's quite nice to see you finally facing the consequences of your actions for a change.
I can't believe you would purposefully throw me under the bus like this. You are such a horrible sister. You're the one who should be going to court, not me.
Why? I haven't done anything.
Yes, you have. I should be the one with a good job and able to do what I want. Instead, you lord it over me that you think you're better than me. Well, you're not.
Karen, I've never thought that I'm better than you. I've just worked hard to get to where I want to be. You've not worked hard for anything in your life. Instead, you just blame everyone else for all of your problems. Well, this time, there's no one else to blame but yourself. And you're going to have to face the consequences of your actions whether you like it or not. Maybe next time you'll actually listen to me when I try to tell you not to take something that doesn't belong to you.
Please, Alicia, just take the fall for this for me.
No, Karen. It's time you actually acted like an adult instead of a spoiled child.
Ugh, I hate you.
In the end, my friend took Karen to court over the theft and damage of her car. Karen tried to blame everyone but herself for what had happened, but the judge simply ignored her. He ordered her to pay Melanie a substantial amount of money in reparations for all of the damages that she had caused to the Porsche. To do this, Karen had to get a job at a local supermarket, which she wasn't a big fan of. But with no other way to pay Melanie the money, she had to stick it out. Meanwhile, I went on to work for Melanie and developed a great relationship with her. We're currently working on expanding the company even more, and thankfully, Karen has stopped stealing everything that belongs to me. I think it's safe to say that she's finally learned her lesson.
Hello, Mary. Do you have some time right now? We need to talk about something important. Hello? What would you like to be called? Mrs. Price? Or would Helen be okay? I can't call you Mother yet, right? Do you have a preference for what I call you? Yeah, it's too early to be calling me Mother. You guys aren't married yet. Helen is fine. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Helen. It was great to get to know you the other day at the gathering with both of our families. Yeah, sure. It was nice to meet you. So, what did you need to talk to me about today? I just wanted to double-check some things. You're currently working for the same company as my husband, correct? Recently, you ended up moving to work in the same department with him as well. Yeah, I guess so. Alan told me that his father works at the same company as me a little while ago. I was still very surprised when I found out that I was working in the same department as him. Well, I guess our surname is pretty common, so I don't blame you. There must be many Mr. Prices in our country. However, I cannot forgive you for the other part. What was with your terrible attitude the other day? Sorry, I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Did I do something accidentally to offend you? If I did, I'm very sorry. It was very offensive. There was no way that you did it accidentally. When I came back to the room after going to the bathroom, I saw my husband apologizing and groveling to you. It was clear to everyone you were talking down to him. How could you treat him like that? I was so shocked with what I saw when I came back. Oh, I guess you saw that happening. How could you do such a thing to the person that might become your father-in-law? It's so disrespectful. On top of that, he has a higher position than you in the company that you both work for. You should be respecting your elders, you little brat. How could you humiliate him like that? I managed to control my temper at the time, but the more I thought about it, the angrier I got. If you apologize right now, then I wouldn't mind letting this go. If you don't apologize, then I'm not going to let you get married to Alan. Such a disrespectful person does not have a place in my family. Mrs. Price, can I have a chance to speak? There's a reason for all this. I won't accept any excuses. I'm breaking off your engagement to Alan if you're not going to apologize right this moment. Well, please let me just explain. There was a good reason why that happened. It happened because of something that was work-related, and I'm pretty sure that it was the correct action by him at the time. What did you just say? Well, it's kind of complicated. He saw me outside of work and just started talking about stuff so suddenly. he got a little emotional and his voice got a little loud. I'm really sorry that I can't tell you what happened in detail, as there's some work-related information that I cannot tell people outside of the company. Why are you making this so difficult? Stop making up these work-related excuses and just apologize as I told you earlier. Or just tell me what this work-related thing is. I'm sorry, but it's confidential information, and it is not for me to tell you. I apologize, but please, would you be able to stop trying to dig further into this matter? So, I take it that you have no intention of apologizing then. Am I correct in thinking that? Well, I mean, there isn't really a reason for me to apologize. It's complicated, but you'd understand if you knew what was going on. I totally get it. You really have no intention of apologizing after forcing my husband to embarrass himself in public. I no longer accept you getting married to Alan. Well, I really don't know what to say to that. We're going to have to cancel all the wedding plans that we were preparing as well. The reason this engagement is breaking off is all your fault, Mary. I expect you to pay all the fees associated with canceling the wedding. That's your responsibility after what happened between you and my family. Be prepared to pay a lot of money. Helen, we need to talk. Oh, hey Mary, what's the matter? Something's happened, and it's not looking good at all. Wait, what? Are you okay? What is happening? Just tell me and we'll figure it out. Do you remember when your father took the blame for that error and made a point by apologizing to the whole floor? It really looked like I was chewing him out. I thought that your mother was gone when it happened, but she was actually watching us from far away. Oh, that can't be good. Yeah, she texted me about it a little earlier in the day. I guess it was because she didn't know the reason behind it, but she was very angry with me. She told me that she wouldn't accept our marriage if I didn't apologize for being so disrespectful. She's going to try to break up our engagement. That's crazy. She's really going that far? The problem is, I promised that I wouldn't say the details about what happened, so I can't really explain the truth to her. I really don't know what I should do about this. Why do both my parents have to be such difficult people? I'm sorry that you have to go through this. They both seem to care for each other too much or something, and it always leads to problems like this in the end. It's so frustrating watching them do this all the damn time. Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for you. You always seem to be pretty stressed out about your parents. I'm sorry that this is happening. I'll try to fix this. Would you be able to send me screenshots of what she sent you? I'll read through it and try to figure out a way to sort this out. Sure, I'll send them right over. Would it be okay if I went to your place right now? Yeah, that's completely fine. When do you think you'll get here? I'll be there in about an hour. Okay, sounds good. I'll see you in a bit. Hello, Mary. Are you prepared to break off your engagement to Alan now? You didn't send me a single message since we talked a few days ago. I cannot believe it. How long were you planning to make us wait? We are going to break off the engagement as soon as possible. There's no point trying to delay the inevitable. If you don't have any intention of apologizing to my husband, then you are not going to be allowed to get married to Alan. I don't mean to offend you, but the person that I'm getting married to is Alan and not you. There is no reason for me to listen to what you are saying. What did you just say to me? I really don't believe that he feels the same way as you do about this, and I'm sure he doesn't want to break off our engagement. I think that you shouldn't just assume that I'm at fault for this, and that you should try to figure out what's happening before telling me what to do. So, you're saying that I'm the one that's in the wrong here? How could you talk to your future mother-in-law like that? It is just completely unacceptable. I was brought up to respect my elders. Now you're telling me that you're going to become my mother-in-law? Yes, we're going to be family in the future. I really need to teach you some manners. I thought that you were not going to give me permission to get married to Alan. Stop being so pedantic. You know I didn't actually mean it like that. Well, I'm sorry if I misunderstood what you said to me. I just thought of a great idea. Let me tell you an example of how you should be treating me. So you're going to tell me a story now? Just listen to what I have to say. The relationship between the wife and her mother-in-law is just like the relationship between the boss and a subordinate at a company. The subordinate should always listen to what the boss says and respect his decision. You're the subordinate, so you should be listening to what I say. Stop talking back to me and making up stupid excuses. You wouldn't dare to talk back to your boss at work, right? Well, it should be the same way right now. If you did do such a thing at work, you would get punished in some way, right? A salary reduction, overtime work, or you could even get fired for it. Well, I guess so. So let's say something like what you're saying happens at work one day. You wouldn't have any problem with it if the subordinate got punished for their actions? I wouldn't have any problem at all. The subordinate deserves any punishment they get if they're disrespectful. If I was the boss, I would probably fire them immediately. Well, thanks for sharing your thoughts with me. I'll make sure I take your advice and put it into action. Unfortunately for your husband, he is going to have to get punished now. What are you talking about? He has nothing to do with this conversation. You might not have noticed, but this conversation does have to do with him. I'm not the one to make the very final decision. However, I think that this decision is not going to change no matter what happens. What are you talking about? Your husband is being demoted and moved to a different office. I'm sure you guys are going to be moving soon, so I recommend that you start getting all your belongings together. Once his new office has been confirmed, you guys will have to leave your current house immediately. I don't understand what you're talking about. Are you messing with me? Hurry up and tell me what's going on! I'm sure you'll figure it out soon enough. I've got to go now. Goodbye. Hello, Mary. Would you like to come over for some coffee today? I made some brownies as well. Why are you inviting me over all of a sudden? I was given some nice coffee beans by one of my friends. It's a really expensive brand, so I'm sure you would enjoy it. Maybe you can come over at some point during the weekend and we can catch up. Oh, so you're trying to ask for forgiveness from me now. Some coffee and brownies isn't going to change anything. What? That's not what I was planning. Oh, are you sure? You've never treated me like this before. Well, I kind of wanted to get to know you better. I'm sure you finally figured out what is going on. Did your husband tell you about what positions me and your husband have at the company we work for? Well, yes. He told me. My husband is actually a pretty useless employee that has been moving between departments as he is not wanted anywhere. On the other hand, you are a young and capable worker that got promoted to the manager position of your department already. 3 months ago, he got cut from the department he worked for and was moved to your department to work as your subordinate. Soon after, he started working for you. He got very jealous that such a young person like you was his manager, and made some very stupid decisions at work. He was desperate for a promotion and rushed all of the tasks that he was assigned to and ended up losing the company a lot of money and potential business partners. You were his manager, so you had to go around to other departments and partner businesses to apologize to them for what he had done. Yeah, that's pretty much what was happening. This was the reason why he was apologizing to me the other day. But the details of our business is confidential, so I can't talk about it. When he arrived at the gathering the other day, he was very surprised to see that Alan was getting married to me. He really didn't want me to be telling you and the rest of your family about his miserable work life. That's why he was begging me to keep quiet about our work life and the fact that I was his manager. So, you're telling me that's the reason why he was groveling to you when I saw you guys? Yes, you are correct. I think he was only scared of how you would react to the news. Alan was with us at the time, and he was apologizing to me for his conduct at work. Alan didn't get mad at all, but he seemed a little shocked by the reality. So, that's what was going on. I actually like to separate my work life from my private life whenever possible, so I decided to keep quiet just like he begged me to. I wasn't planning on talking about work at our gathering anyway. I also didn't plan on interacting with him any differently once we got back to work the next day. However, I don't know what your husband was thinking, but he did some pretty stupid things at work after the gathering. He thought that being the future father-in-law to the manager of the department gave him some extra authority. He started trying to force his jobs onto other coworkers and order them around. Wait, he didn't really do that, did he? Oh, yes he did. I had many complaints from the other workers in our department, so I filed a report to the CEO of the company. The higher-ups of the company had a discussion, and it was decided that he would be fired from my department and be moved to a different office out of town. That can't be true. Do we really have to leave this amazing city? I'm actually more surprised by why he hasn't been fired from the company completely. I'm pretty sure the only reason why he's able to move around departments is due to the kindness of the CEO. At any other company, he would be fired immediately for what he did. Please, could you do something about this? I don't want to have to move out of this place. Please help us out. I'm sorry, but there really isn't anything that I can do about this. I don't have the authority to reverse or change this decision. There's no point sucking up to me at this point. It's way too late for any of that. The only choices you have left are to follow him to his new office that he's been assigned to, or live separately to him if you really want to stay in this city. I don't want to do either! If you really want to force another option, then I guess you would just have to get divorced from him. That's not a possibility. I wouldn't be able to live by myself. I don't even have a job right now, so a divorce is not an option. Well, there's not going to be any progress talking to me about any of this. I suggest you go and have a talk with him directly and figure out what you guys are going to do from now on. Oh, I just thought of another way to solve this problem. You thought of a fourth option? What is it? I'll give you permission to get married to Alan. In return, you should let me move in with you guys. Then I can stay here in this city and he can move to wherever he wants. I could even get divorced, I guess. Sorry, but that is definitely not going to be happening. Wait, why? It's such a great idea. Everybody gets what they want. Tell me why it can't happen. Do you really think that I would want to live with you after what's happened between us? Either way, Alan already told me that you moving in was not an option. I completely agree with him, so that's that. Wait, he said that? I'm sorry, but I don't think that there is any point in us talking about this anymore. We're just talking about the same thing over and over now. You can go and talk to your husband about this and not me. Wait, Mary, please just think about letting me move in with you guys. I'm sure I could be really helpful to you. Sorry, but nothing you say is going to change my mind. I've got a lot of work to get done, so I've got to go now. Goodbye. Wait, let's just talk about this. After we finished talking, Alan's parents got into a massive argument about their future. However, they didn't end up getting a divorce as they were too dependent on each other. Helen didn't have her own source of income, and her husband had no idea how to do any of the housework. They both ended up moving together to a small town where a small office of our company is located. However, after moving to the new office, he made a very costly mistake and was fired immediately by the company. The two of them got into another very large argument and ended up getting a divorce after all. Both of them texted Alan insults and accusations about each other constantly. Alan was getting tired of dealing with them and just sent them both the same reply saying, "It's all your fault. Take responsibility for what you did." He also told me that he planned to cut ties with his parents completely. Currently, we are planning on moving to a new place as his parents know where we live right now. He looked very tired and upset, so I told him that we're going to have our own family that is nothing like his parents. We promised each other that we would care about each other and raise our children with love and respect. We finally got married a few days ago, and we are ready to start a fresh new life together.